Welcome to the Life in Michigan podcast. Life in Michigan is more than an online magazine. We share the stories, experiences, and vibrant personalities that make the Great Lakes state truly unique. In this podcast, we bring you inspiring, heartwarming, and sometimes unexpected conversations with people who call Michigan home. From the rugged beauty of the Upper Peninsula to the bustling creativity of Kalamazoo, we'll cover the stories and define what it means to live, work, and play in Michigan. Today we are hanging out with Evan Westervelt from Midland Brewing Company. Evan's journey into the craft beer world started with a creamy dark stout at a college bar and led him all the way to helping shape the future of one of Michigan's historic breweries. We're talking about everything from the rebirth of Midland Brewing to how collaborations, whether they're with other breweries, nonprofits, or local businesses, are helping the craft beer community thrive. So grab a pint, get comfy, and let's dive in. Evan, how are you doing?
How's it going, guys? Good to see you today. Thanks for having me a part of this.
Yeah, we were so it was great to meet you over at the Winter Beer Fest. That was awesome, chance meeting down at Archival, and then of course having you on the podcast. That's icing on the cake. So thanks a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah, yeah.
No problem. The pleasure's all mine, and look forward to chatting with you.
Awesome.
Great. Well, I'm hoping, well, I know a little bit about you because I've met you, I've chatted with you, and I've also done a little digging up on the website. So I know a little, but why don't you share a little bit about yourself and how you found your way into the craft beverage world, and how you found your way to Midland Brewing, and maybe give us a little like few headlines about Midland. I gotta pronounce that correctly. Brewing.
Sounds good. Yeah. No, it's so really how I got into craft beer in general. I was going to college at Ferris State University and turned 21, or my buddy turned 21, I guess. I was 21 before a lot of my friends, but my buddy turned 21 and we started going to a local place called the Sawmill Saloon in Big Rapids. And it was known for their PBR, but I tried their creamy dark from Leinenkugel's.
Okay.
Um and that was like the aha moment, like, whoa, beer can taste different than these light beers. And so that's what got me really interested in it. And that was probably, oh man, 20, I would have been probably 2006 or so.
Okay.
And then I got my first, I got my all my homebrew equipment. I started homebrewing when I lived out in Colorado in 2008. Um, I brewed some really terrible beer that nobody wanted to drink. Um, I remember uh, one of my buddies called one of my beers Colgate because I used peppermint, and it just straight up tasted like toothpaste. It was
Oh
really
man.
bad. Did a pumpkin spice beer that I think we fertilized more plants with it than we drank. Um, but just a bunch of breweries out in Colorado got me more interested. I lived in Colorado Springs, so Bristol Brewing Company, Breckenridge,
Yeah.
Upslope Brewing Company out in Colorado. Those are some that just kind of got me into it. And then when I moved back to Michigan, I was just like dead set. It's like, sorry about that. I was dead set on getting a job at a brewery. So I sent an email to every brewery within about 90 minutes from Midland. And only brewery that emailed me back was Tri-City Brewing Company. Kevin Peel, the owner, uh, emailed me back and got an interview, got a job. I started as a production brewer there, and that would have been 2011 or 2012. I was
Oh,
a
okay.
production brewer there. Worked there for about 3 years. I took the head brewer job at Lumber Barons in Bay City. Um, and worked with them for a couple of years. And then I kind of had an opportunity to transition over to Midland Brewing Company. And started with them as a like a route sales manager, which turned into sales and marketing. So now I kind of have my hat in the ring for a lot of different things at Midland Brewing. Um, Not brewing anymore, but I get to talk about beer all day, every day. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
So did you know Doug Tetmeyer, Cowboy Doug?
Of course,
Of
yes.
course.
Um,
Gotta
what
give
a
Doug
what
a
a
shout out.
what a beautiful, amazing human being.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
He was our
Miss him
ambassador.
dearly, miss his presence at all the festivals. Hop man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful human.
yeah,
He 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 was like our welcoming committee into the beer world, into to the Brewers Guild. Like he like rolled out the red carpet, like he became our friend, like in a big way. Not just like, hey, but like really big. Like he would invite you to things. He would stop in Ann Arbor and say hi. I mean, like he was our friend, not just a beer friend.
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean, I think we all have that kind of a similar story with that about Doug. He was just um once you meet him, um he had that aura about him where it was just he was welcoming. You always felt like you could be yourself with him, and
yeah, yeah,
he had that presence of
yeah,
just being a good-natured good soul. And
yeah.
Yeah.
so
I,
yeah, I still I don't know if we swear on this podcast
oh,
at
you
all,
can
but
go
I
ahead.
still have the
Yeah.
what's that?
You can go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, well, I still have the fuck cancer bracelet.
Yep.
It's sitting down in my bar in the basement, sitting on the shelf in there. And so,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
what a wonderful man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you were at Tri-City. I didn't realize. So,
Yeah,
were you working with Jay at that time? Was
I
Jay
sure
there?
was.
All right.
That's how I got to know Jay. Yeah. Um,
Awesome. Speaking of
yeah,
awesome,
Jay's
awesome, wonderful people, that's another one, you know?
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So we worked together once Tri-City did that. It was kind of like perfect timing. I worked with Tri-City up until their little hiatus, that little break between locations. So
Uh,
I worked with them up until they got finished up at the old location, and I moved over to Lumber Barons as the head brewer at that time. Um, but no, every moment I worked at TCB was a joy, and awesome people that I got to know there, and we're still
Mhm.
definitely frequent patrons over
yeah.
there.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
too far away. It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, you're kind of up in
Yeah.
this. So, for folks that don't know where Midland is, that aren't acquainted, you even though you people can't see it, your hand map, where is Midland for somebody that doesn't know Midland, Michigan?
Well, I'll still show the hand map, but we are in the middle of the land. So Midland, we're right in the center of Michigan. It's part of the Tri-Cities, so Midland, Saginaw, Bay City, and specifically we are located um, kind of on the western part of Midland, between Midland and Sanford, um,
Are you before
on
the
five.
Zilwaukee Bridge or after the Zilwaukee Bridge?
So you would cross the Zilwaukee Bridge and then take US 10, probably about 15 miles west.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
nice,
Yes.
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, and we got one of those signs on the freeway. So if you're driving down US 10, you'll see it's not the restaurant signs, it's the uh what's the term? Um
Oh, like the billboard,
well,
the
no, not a billboard, but it's like it's
yeah,
there's a sign that says
like a
Midland
pure
Brewing.
Michigan sign that says, "Hey,
Yeah.
Yes,
come to these
exactly. You
things,"
got it.
right?
There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Attraction ahead, but not like
Yeah.
cheesy.
Attraction. That's
Yeah.
what it is.
Oh,
There's one of the blue signs that says attractions, and the only one on it is Midland Brewing. So that's
oh.
us.
Oh, that is
We're an
excellent.
attraction.
Wow. So Midland, like has this like really rich history. I mean, it goes back. to like what 1930s,
Hmm.
and then it had a rebirth, like it kind of had a rebirth recently. Can you like walk our listeners through that just a little bit?
I sure can. Yeah. So, kind of the history of NBC is um, back in 1935, post-Prohibition. There was kind of a brewery boom there for a little bit. Bunch of places started opening up, and Midland Brewing was one of them. So Midland Brewing opened in 1935, but it only lasted a few years. The Great Depression and just like breweries, there was just mass closures of breweries all throughout the country, and so it closed down shortly after that. And then in 2010, a group of local entrepreneurs had this idea of Midland Brewing, rebirthing it, and opened it back up just about a mile down the road, really, from the original location. Um, and that did well temporarily, but it also did not uh, succeed fully. So they shut down in 2016 for just a very short period of time, and then our current owner, Dave Kepler, bought the place and reopened, and really grew it into a fantastic destination for beer, food. I mean, before it wasn't a restaurant. We have a wonderful chef on staff now that is doing great things with our menu, and we have wine, we have spirits. Um, we're doing a little bit of everything now, so it's kind of more um, the full load of
Yeah.
The whole,
options now
all
at
the
NBC.
things, all
Yeah.
the things.
A
Yeah.
full
Yeah.
attraction. A
Yeah,
full
and you
We
guys
also have
what?
the Red Keg, which is named after a lumber camp from the 30s, or maybe even before that. But it's and so that's our event center. So we have like a full event center for weddings, different events, and then our big outdoor beer garden, and kind of like a music venue and all that kind of stuff out in the back of the brewery. So
awesome.
That's fun. So do you
Yeah.
have
yeah,
like shows and stuff, like music?
we do. During the summer, we tend to do live music maybe like once a week, but then we have kind of some bigger events here and there. We this past year we did the kind of like a Margaritaville Saturday thing, kind of for our summer launch party, and we'll do some bigger events there. But yeah, we definitely have live music, different outdoor events, all sorts of different stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
Awesome.
that sounds fun.
Yeah. So,
I,
oh, go
when I
ahead.
hear people talk about these, I'm like, why isn't that in my backyard?
I hear you.
Yeah.
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 Well, we live in
No, it's
yeah, we
yeah.
live like just south of Ann Arbor, which is strangely devoid of. So there's Mothfire is not too far away, but
No,
like
Yep.
it's great.
within
Beautiful.
what it's just over the walking distance. We really want like Midland or somebody to have a brewery like, within a half mile. It's not too much to ask, right?
Yeah, half mile, so we can stagger home, right?
Right.
Well,
Right.
yeah. No. Well, let's work on that. Let's
Yeah.
send out a pin to all the craft brewers in Michigan, and
There we
Yeah.
let's
go.
let's
Let's
see
work
who's
on it.
who. Let's see if we can put together something and open up
Yeah.
something walking distance.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. So you were just saying before we got on the call today that you just spent the last 6 hours at the Michigan Craft Beverage Summit. Do you want
Yes,
to share a little bit about what that is and um,
sure.
what the vibe was?
Yeah, no, it was great. It was so the Michigan Craft Beverage Summit is put together by the uh hold on a quick second. There we go. I'm doing this interview in my vehicle right now, so I had to turn my car back on so my computer doesn't die. Um, but no, the Michigan Craft Beverage Summit is put on by the Michigan Craft Beverage Council. And so they are essentially advocates for um Michigan craft beer, Michigan craft cider, spirits, wine, all that stuff. And so it's a government appointed board um, that is advisory to the Michigan Department of Agriculture and Rural Development. Um, and I think it was like established to provide research, marketing, promotion of Michigan products and Michigan craft beverages. And so this event specifically, I mean, I've done all the Michigan Brewers Guild events and stuff, so I wanted to kind of see the perspective from, I mean, I knew it was kind of like a government association, so I wanted to kind of see different um, aspects of it. And it was a positive vibe. It was uh, a lot of exciting things that people were talking about, and um, just different trends. And I mean, um, innovation is really key. I mean, that's a big part of it. Like, if we want to, um, if we want to see the industry grow, we have to look outside the box. We got to do things maybe we haven't been comfortable with in the past, but there's it was opening to just there's options, and
Yeah.
a lot of it has to do with collaboration and cross collaboration, collaborating with wineries, cideries, different, because we're all going through the same thing. And if the listeners don't really know what we're talking about, like the craft the craft beer market has had a steady decline in general the last few years, and that's for a lot of different reasons. Um, but craft beverage in general is doing pretty well, and so um, we just have to be open to change, and um, just a lot of panels and a lot of ideas and a lot of conversations one on one with people that I met today, and it seems like people are eager to get their hands dirty and try some new things, and see where it can take us.
Awesome.
That is exciting. Like
Yeah.
I get chills when I think about it. I'm like the next generation is going to come up and just like get shake things up, right? Like
Well, totally. And like, I'll bring up what Scott Graham, the um I don't know if he's the president or the director, but
Yeah, I
he's
think he's the
I think
executive
he's the
director.
director.
Yeah.
Yeah, executive director of the Michigan Brewers Guild.
yeah.
And he mentioned, like, the way he put it was just kind of truthfully mind blowing. Like, for me, when I got into the industry back in the early 2010s, there was maybe 140 breweries in Michigan, right? Well, he put it in a 25-year increment kind of period. So this past year we had about 420 Michigan breweries, which
Mhm.
is that's a huge
Yeah,
number.
it
That's
is.
crazy. That's amazing.
Yeah.
25 years ago, there was 60 breweries in Michigan.
Wow.
25 years before that, there was two.
Wow.
And so it's like, yes, we may be we are unfortunately seeing some breweries closing here and there. Like, I mean, really the last month or so of, like, we've seen four, five, six breweries close in the
Yeah.
last month,
Yeah.
but
I
we're
think it's
still over
hard too
400
because they're our
breweries.
friends, right? Like when
I
you see
know that it,
a friend, like, oh, I gotta shut down. It's like it hurts, right? Like unlike like Joanne, Fabrics, which is closing, you're like, oh, that's sad. I can't get my thread over here. But I don't know the owner of Joanne Fabrics, right? But I know the owners of some of these breweries and it hurts, right? It really hurts.
well, and that's also what makes the craft beer. I'm not just saying Michigan craft, the craft beer industry in general so special is um, that we do consider ourselves our own little community. We have historically not had um, a strongly competitive relationship with our fellow breweries. We see the industry through a different perspective, through a different lens, where we're welcoming more breweries into our community because it grows the area to the industry, and um, there's a better chance of people coming to the Midland area if there's more breweries, if there's or the Tri-City in general. We want to be a destination for craft beer, and what makes a destination better is more beer, more
Yeah.
options, and
Yep.
Right.
More
a
things.
better environment. And so it's always been such a beautiful industry when it comes to just really we're all one. Like we
Right.
consider ourselves Michigan craft breweries. We don't necessarily see ourselves as competitors. And so
Right.
yes, so that's another part of it. It's terrible when you see these places close because they put the amount of passion and love into the industry
Yeah.
as we have. And so
Yeah.
um yeah, it's frustrating. I want to see everybody succeed. So
Yeah.
it's a challenge for sure.
For
Yep.
sure. So when I ran into you, or when we ran into you
That's
after
right.
the Winter Beer Fest,
Enjoying some beers at Archival.
yeah, at Archival, and
Yes.
I turn around and you're there, and I'm like, I want to talk to you, right? And because I'm obsessed with collaborations right now. Like it's the like if like it's the only thing on my brain most of the time. Like I got to figure out like I got to get more information about what's going on in the world of craft beer in terms of collaborations. And Chuck just wrote, I mean, maybe he can talk about it a little bit. He just wrote, he's thinking about it too, because he just wrote yeah, his thrive I'm gonna thrive in 25 Sunday sip.
Yeah, I was ripping off somebody else's Thrive in 25 because I saw that like at the beginning of the year, and I was like,
Somebody mentioned it today at the conference.
oh yeah, well it makes sense. I mean, it's like it
Yeah.
works, right? Thrive in 25. But I was just like going off of just collaborations because we went to the Kalamazoo Craft Beverage Week at beginning of February, and it was so cool to see different not not just beer to beer, but beer to business, beer to nonprofit, those kind of like collaborations where it was like just huge, and not just beer, but across the board. I mean, I just had a conversation with another Substack writer. He invited me to do a Substack live just to talk about collaborations in general, like because obviously, well, people can't see my office at Life in Michigan Studios, but it's like very much about music. So music collaborations are huge with me too, and the arts. But yeah, so along those lines, Evan, collaborations. What makes a great collaboration for Midland?
So, I mean, we've we tend to do a lot of collaborations, whether it's with nonprofits or local businesses or other breweries or um, anything. And we've definitely done some collaborations that didn't work. And those that didn't work seem to be the ones that aren't mutually beneficial. Like not beneficial as in
Yeah,
revenue or money or anything,
yeah,
but beneficial as in like um pride and excitement
yeah.
and just like for it to be able to go somewhere. And so a few things like our I mean we did a collaboration with Stiggs Brewery. They're uh I don't know if they've already done it, but they're changing their licensing, so they're going to be able to distribute statewide now. But
Oh,
before
wow.
they had that
Yeah.
licensing, we did a collaboration with them so they could have some beer and distribution. So we worked with them. We did a Doppelbock. We put it into distribution. It was called Stiglin Doppelbock, and
Awesome.
essentially that gave them an avenue um, to be able to put their beer in restaurants and bars throughout the state, which was a really cool collaboration. We were excited because they were uh, I mean, if you've ever been there, they're just
Yeah,
cool people, great
we
spot.
so we well, not funny, but fun. So the last 3 years we've been brewing beer with them up
Oh, awesome.
outside. So in
Yeah,
the during their anniversary, basically, which is like the first weekend of January. So Mike invited us up right after the pandemic, and we went up there, and it was like 0 degrees. But so it's like old school, like home brewing. So do the
yeah.
mash inside, then take it outside, get it boiling over an open fire, and drink beers while you're waiting for it to boil and do all that stuff. But it's been great fun this year. It's fun. So yes, we do know Stiggs. Super awesome place.
Yeah.
Awesome group. Yeah, it's an awesome group of people up there. Boyne City's, since I took this job at NBC, that's Boyne City and Marquette have kind of been like my homes away from home. Like I feel so at home in Boyne City. I feel so at home in Marquette. Yeah, just a wonderful place and just, yeah, great people.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, so that's kind of a example of a awesome collaboration we had with another brewery. Another one that's working with the Four Lakes Task Force. I'm not sure if you're familiar with them, but
No.
so a couple months after kind of the whole world shut down, um, May of 2020, um, the Four Lakes, so that's going to be um, Sanford Lake, Wixom Lake, uh, Secord Lake, one other lake. I can't think of what it was. But these dams,
I remember
because of
that.
all the rainfall and everything, they all failed. And so the Four Lakes Task Force is a nonprofit organization that um, essentially is working with the government, working on funding, trying to get the lakes rebuilt. And two of them have been rebuilt. Um, they're almost done with the Sanford one, and then the Wixom one's right after that. But we work with them with a beer we call Damn Good Beer, DAM, instead of the other Dam. But and so a portion of all the profits that we generate from that we put back into the Four Lakes Task Force to help them with the rebuilding of the dams. And that's a great one. I mean, that beer's getting pushed around all those lake communities, and it's a it's a part that's like it's something like um our owner lives on Sanford Lake. Like it's something that's near and dear to us at Midland Brewing, and it's something good for them. It's a way of advertising the cause and advertising everything on
Yeah.
store shelves and everything. And so that's another kind of collaboration that we love. And
So for our
yeah, I
listeners,
have a lot more of them too if we wanted to talk about
well,
them.
Yeah.
I
But
just wanted to clarify for people that don't know, it was what? It was like during 2020, right? That the dams, one of the dams failed and it
yeah,
flooded and it basically took, and then that that whole lake then just disappeared, right? Because it like,
yeah.
Wasn't the city flooded too?
Four lakes disappeared.
right.
Three dams got washed away. And so just like incrementally, like it affected a huge area. Midland flooded pretty bad, but then you get into Freeland, you even get into Saginaw, like, but also those lake communities got devastated. I mean, like,
Yeah.
the entire downtown Sanford area, which is a small town, but the entire downtown essentially got washed out, like
Yeah.
feet of water in every business. Everything had to be completely
It,
redone.
it was like
Um,
it was like the governor declared it like a national, like it was like a national disaster or something, I think,
yeah,
because she talked about it in her recent memoir. um uh Gretchen Whitmer did. um
yeah.
and what they had to evacuate all of these communities because they knew
Hmm.
that the dams were going to fail and we were in the middle of a pandemic. It was just like this crazy thing.
Yeah, it was, I mean, no, it was it well it that's the that was I mean obviously it would have been devastating at any point, but the fact that it was, yeah, it was May of 2020, so it was just
Yeah.
Right.
two
Yeah.
months
Yeah.
after we all just like start like, oh, don't leave your house. Like,
Right.
okay, I'm not gonna leave my house, but my house is under water now. Like,
Water.
can I
Yeah.
leave now?
I gotta
Um,
leave.
Gotta
yeah,
leave.
no, it was
Right.
um yeah, I mean, it was just, I remember like we kind of all temporarily kind of had to ignore the fact that this COVID was going on because everybody wanted to get out and go try to help um, these communities and get
Yeah.
out and get their feet on the ground and do what we could do. And it was um, definitely a challenging time, and it's still, and people are still struggling. It's still a challenge to this point, and so, and that's 5 years later now. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
so, we started this in 2021 is when we started Damn Good Beer. So I mean, we're nearly 4 years into it, and um, it's still something that is needed. So
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome.
yeah.
It is. It is. So talking about like, I mean, innovation, we've got themes here today. Um, so um, we've been talking about innovation. And so are there any new ingredients or techniques that you guys have done in collabs at Midland that have like pushed the boundaries in terms of like, brewing up innovation, like, like for your brewers?
Yeah, well, I think right now, like at this exact current moment, um we are in the process of being as innovative as possible because um a lot of our ingredients we've tended to work with in the past, costs are a little higher than they have been in the past. So we are looking into and working with different ingredients, different suppliers, um, different avenues of um, fruit. Like we've always used like aseptic fruit puree. Maybe we're working with a different fruit supplier, or maybe we are attempting to utilize a concentrate or using something different, um, just to kind of experiment to see what we can do. But in general, when it comes to innovation, we have a 3 barrel system, a 3 barrel psycho brew system. And it's our beer venture series, and we're
Beer ventures.
constantly trying out different beers, different styles of beer. Um, One thing we've been using for our last couple sours, we're using a yeast strain called Sour Vissier, which essentially um, eliminates the risk of contamination in the beer because the uh, uh, lactic acid is not lactic acid, but the acidity is created during fermentation rather than um, through bacteria or um, through sour mash or
Or
anything
yeast?
like that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so we've been having fun with that. We just put out our kiwi gosa. We have our raspberry sour coming out this Saturday or this Friday. Um, but yeah, we're constantly looking to innovate. And I mean, we work with another collaboration, I guess. We've worked with Aviator Cookie, which is um, a
Fun.
local bakery in Midland, and I mean, just
Yeah.
yeah, we'll get a boatload of their cookies and use them in we did a molasses cookie beer with them not too long ago, and
You
yeah,
do any
always doing sorts of fun stuff.
pairings along those lines to because that was kind of something fun that I never would have thought would be good was we had at oh shoot Apoptosis Brewing in Kalamazoo. They did a donut and beer, and you would think donuts and beer. I don't know. I at first thought it was going to be gross, but it was actually really good. So do you like cookie and beer pairings or beef jerky and beer? Oh my god! But
Well, yes, we totally do. We have our Hop and Dine series. So
Oh,
oh,
when we started that last year, um, essentially we traveled around the world. So we did a trip to France, and so we did 5 beers paired with five kind of French themed uh, courses of a meal. Like so, we
uh-huh.
do like a salad, an appetizer, a main course, a dessert, all that. Um, and we've kind of traveled around the world. We got one coming up in 2 weeks. We have we're doing traditional Mexican food, 5-course pairing.
Oh,
Um,
yum.
the last one we did was just in February. You say beef jerky pairing. I'm a vegan. So we just did our vegan beer dinner, which actually I didn't need to do much pushing for this. Our chef wanted to do it.
Awesome.
And so I was all on board with that. So we did a vegan beer dinner just last month. But we try to do one of those every month. But then also I'm doing them externally. I did one at Real Seafood in Bay City last week where we did a Mardi Gras themed beer dinner, which was beautiful. They did a great job there and paired it with 4 of our beers.
Awesome.
But no, I think beer dinners are one of my favorite ways to present craft beer because it's an intimate setting. People are really being thoughtful and trying to understand what's happening on their palates, and
Yeah.
they're there to listen. Like it's really good experience and really good one-on-one with um, customers and just people
Yeah.
that are there because they want to try the craft, and it's yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, I think it's a great way for folks that may not necessarily know that they may not necessarily be craft beer fans. They may not necessarily be um, beer enthusiasts at all, but you can kind of go to one of those dinners or those pairings and try something. You know, you might like the food, and then you hadn't thought about the beer or those tastes. I think that's a great way to do that. You know, and you can do. You know, it's been going around for a while. You know, with wine and cheese and those kind of things. But I think it's great that you can also provide a little education for folks
Yeah,
along, with the beers and yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. That what's his name's Fred Biltmeyer?
Fred
Boltman.
Biltman. Yeah.
Biltman.
Yeah,
Yeah, he always does he always curates the dinner at the Great Lakes Beer State
Conference. Yeah.
Conference. Got to get that all out,
Yeah.
right? And you taste the beer and then you taste the food and then and like it tastes totally different, right? And you get you get exposed to a beer you might not have like wanted to try ever. You would like, oh, I really like that one that's got hot peppers in it. Like it tastes really great when it's in a stout or like whatever it is, right? It kind of opens up new doors.
yeah. Well, Fred is a madman with that. That's if people don't know what this is, I'm pretty sure it's. I mean, I might be underestimating it. It's like 30 courses paired with 60 beers. So each
Yeah.
course is paired with 2 beers. It's just a mind-blowing beer dinner. Um, but in general, I don't know how the heck he does it.
I
But in
know.
general, yeah, there's I mean, there's different ways. Like you got your flavors that mend well together because they're similar, but then you have contrasting flavors that end up mending well together. And there's a lot of different ways to work with flavors, and that is what's cool about it. I mean, a lot of times at a dinner, we'll be talking about our IPA, and I could just see like a look on everybody's face, like, oh no, 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 no. But we pair it in um, a purposeful way that um, you can kind of see that reaction after they try it, like, whoa, actually that was pretty good. Like I
Yeah,
liked it, like
yeah.
where the food enhanced the beer or the beer enhanced the food or vice versa. And no, it's definitely fun being able to work with flavors like that.
So where do you think, if you had a crystal ball, I mean, we all want a crystal ball this afternoon to figure out what's going on next. But if you had a crystal ball and you could look into the future and particularly the Michigan beer industry, um, where do you think collaborations will go um, in the next few years?
I think collaborations are going to become, in my personal opinion, I think they're going to become more important. I think it's going to I think there's an opportunity there to bring communities together. Um, we've been in discussion with some of the other local breweries in the area about not necessarily creating an organization or anything like that, but about just working together and maybe having a concept of a style of beer and all brewing that style, and having a little book at each place where you can kind of check off where you've had it, and just working together to better the industry in the area. So um, I think that's gonna become more prevalent. I don't know if we're quite there yet in the grand scheme of the Michigan beer industry. Like, I think we've always worked together, but I
Hmm.
think it's gonna even get more tightly focused where we're really gonna wanna
Yeah.
reach out and um, get help and help other places to um, kind of expand the brand of Michigan beer. Um, and so I see it getting stronger, but then also I think there's always an opportunity there to work with your local community, your local nonprofits, your local businesses, and being able to work together to help them out, but they also help you out. I mean, with
Yeah.
us, like we got we work with the Saginaw Spirit, we work with Northwood University. I'm alumni from Northwood, and we do a beer with Northwood, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Northwood University, they have a beer called Howling Wolf. We brew it for them. They use it at all sorts of different events throughout the year. But that
I've
gives
not
us an
heard of this
opportunity to,
university. But tell me a little bit about the university. I've not heard of it before. What
yeah.
Northwood?
So Northwood University is a small private university here in Michigan, or it's right in Midland. It's a business school,
Okay.
but I mean um, I would guess they're in the 2,000 student enrollment kind of
Okay.
size.
That's small.
But they have a very faithful alumni and very strong alumni that's really proud of where they've been to school. And so doing the Howling Wolf Ale with them, um, they sell it at Eastman Party Store, which is a local place in Midland. They use it, they pull out special event license for basketball games, and they have a big car show that they do every year. It's one of the biggest car shows in Michigan.
Oh.
Um, they have a bar set up for that. But then that also gave us an opportunity that uh, we do beer at their football games. All the home football games, we take our 1953 Studebaker, which has 6 taps in it. Um, and so we have a kind of a beer garden right there at Northwood football games that kind of um, works around Midland beer. So it's an awesome partnership, and um, I just see a lot more of that that we need to do moving forward. Is um, we want to do our part, help other businesses, help other brands, help the community, and then also it works vice versa too. When we do that, um, it helps us out in the grand scheme of things as well. So
Yeah, it acts as an attractor for folks that are like looking for a place to visit, and then also for the local community, right? To
Mhm.
help
exactly.
create events that draw people together. That's awesome.
So what's the name of that beer festival that's in Midland that we go to? Chuck and I keep.
Great Lakes Beer Fest
Yeah,
over at
yeah,
the ballpark.
at the
Yeah,
ballpark. So have you collaborated with that team that's in that ballpark?
the Gulls.
The Gulls?
I think they are the
Oh,
Gulls.
the loons.
The Loons. That's right. Yeah.
So
Jeez, Louise,
yes,
look
the
at her belly.
loons. We have we uh we did it. We had a sponsorship with the loons there for a while. We love our Great Lakes Loons. It's a wonderful um uh organization, and we work with them for the 4th of July celebration. Um we have a we own a storage container, which is right now we have it's a storage container with, I think we have 8 taps in it. It's refrigeration, all that kind of stuff. And it's a bar, like the bartender's inside of the storage container. We had that down at Dow Diamond, which is where the Loons play, for kind of pre-game, post-game kind of beer garden area for a couple years. We moved that back to the brewery just this past summer. Um, but no, we're constantly working with them, trying to figure out the best fit for NBC with the Great Lake Loons. Um, there's also a radio station that's based right inside of there, inside of the stadium that we work with as well. Um, and yeah, no, the Great Lakes Beer Festival, though, in general, um, we've been part of that since the get-go, and what a beautiful setup that they've done. It's
Yeah,
first
it's
year it
fun.
was pretty small, and it's grown every single year, and they got the ball rolling on it now. It's one of my favorite festivals to attend and to participate in now. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've gone the last few years and it's been awesome. I mean, I
yeah,
like the atmosphere at it and it's fun and you get a mix of things in there too, right? So it's
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
for sure.
It feels more like a party. I mean, like when I compare it,
Yeah, it's a
it's like,
tailgate.
yeah, like a tailgate or a party, then like, I mean, I love the Brewers Guild's festivals. Don't get me wrong. I think they're a wonderful tradition and experience, and I always get to see all my friends and hang out, and it's on the calendar, and I love them. But that particular festival is the Great Lakes Beer Fest. Is it feels like a party to me. Like you go in and it like a tailgate. Yeah, it's just got a totally different vibe. It's fun.
Well, that's good. I like to hear that perspective because uh, I've every year I've attended, like I've obviously been really working. I've been right by my booth, and so um, it's kind of good to hear that from uh, a different perspective because I see it as a wonderful festival, but uh, maybe I don't party during it.
Yeah.
So when I think of a party festival, I think of Burning Foot. That's my
But
first
yeah.
go-to. Have you ever been to
Yeah,
that?
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Burning Foot's a party, but
Yeah, that
uh,
is.
no, it's good.
Yeah.
I'll have to get another coworker to come to Great Lakes Beer Festival, and I'll wander around with you guys this
There you
year
Yeah.
go.
with that. And
There
Uh,
you go. Yeah.
yeah, maybe
yeah,
maybe maybe I've over exaggerated the party because Burning Foot definitely is a party. Like that's one where you got to get the tent, right? Like
oh
um
yeah,
but but there's definitely a different vibe, and it's I don't know. I just need to stop talking now, I think.
no, it's a good, they keep going, Brenda.
So like if you could dream up any collab, beer or otherwise, what would it be?
Oh man. Well, I'm gonna go on a personal side of things. I've all kind of to mix it in with um beer pairings. I've always wanted to do a beer and music pairing where you get like a really talented eclectic musician that can kind of do all varieties of music and pair a beer with a certain style of music or a certain song and
Fun.
have like reasoning and explanation behind it. Um, that's been something I've always kind of wanted to try to organize in a well done way, but I've never um, took the extra steps to actually get that moving. Um,
I
but
think we
looking
should,
at your office, Chuck, I think you might be the guy we might
yeah,
need to
so now I was just
work on this together.
Well, I
Um,
have tried to do that as far as writing, when I do write about the music at the beer fests. Sometimes try to put it like, oh, and this band goes well with, so and so's, lager or whatever. But yeah, that sounds fun. That would be actually a lot of
yeah,
fun to try to figure out different beers, different beer styles, different beer tastes, and see how they uh, kind of mix and match them. Because there's some
exactly.
obvious ones where you'd think, oh, this is like country western, but then maybe it's not. Maybe it's flamenco or something. So yeah.
Oh, totally. I mean, I've always visioned it as like um, maybe a 2 hour kind of dinner. And like the band does a 20-minute set for this beer, a 20-minute set for this beer, and so on to really enhance the flavors with sound.
There
Yeah,
you
Um,
go.
yeah.
That sounds fun. I think we need to work on that.
all right, I'm
We're
in.
coming to our we're getting close to the end of our interview, and probably your car is going to be out of gas soon, so you're going to need to go to the gas station.
Well, I'm at an eighth of a tank. I'm
All
okay.
right, you're good. You're good. So what's coming up at Midland Brewing that folks should keep an eye out for?
Um, well, first
Besides,
off, I mentioned it. We have our beer dinner coming up on what would that be? 15 days from now, so the 27th. We have our um, traditional Mexican food paired with 5 beers. That's coming up.
and those are
Call the
throughout the
brewery.
whole year. You have them once a month.
So this hop and dine series we do throughout the colder months. So we start them in the fall and we run through. This will be the last month of that, and then we kind of uh, throughout the summer we'll um, do some pairings, do some dinners. We'll do like a barbecue beer dinner, but it's not technically part of this hop and dine. It's more um, whatever space we have available. We'll kind of
Yeah.
figure out where we're going to do it, how many tickets we can sell, and so it's it's more. I guess the ones coming up this summer will be more organic, more spur of the moment, and we'll figure them out as they come closer. Um,
So folks, the best way for people, like if they're like, I got to get that on my calendar. Do you have a newsletter? Do you post them on socials?
Yeah,
Um,
so if you go to our website, www.midlandbrewing.com, you can sign up for our newsletter. Um, and also on the website, you can sign up for our loyalty club membership, which it's free. You just type your email in and you're part of it, and that also gets you 10% off all to-go drinks at the brewery.
okay.
But with that, when you sign up for that, it gets you as part of a kind of a separate newsletter that I send out as well. And that's got all of our events. I also keep Facebook up to date on events that are coming up at the brewery and external events. I'll link external events for Midland Brewing onto that as well. Um,
Okay.
and yeah, for different events, we do trivia. We just started open up on Mondays this Monday.
Oh,
So we're open 7 days a week now. Um, every Tuesday we do trivia. Um, Wednesdays we have you get a pitcher of beer and a dozen wings for 15.95.
nice.
That's a pretty
Um,
good deal.
yeah, not bad. Thursday we do a pitcher of beer and uh smoked pulled pork nachos for 15.95.
Yum.
Nice.
Um, and then Fridays right now we're doing fish fry. Um,
Yeah. So what would the
yeah,
vibe be? What would the vibe be there in the tap room? Would you describe it like, is it like, I don't know, is it like a an up north bar? I don't know if, have we ever been to Midland Brewing, Chuck?
I don't think we have. So we've got
Yes.
a road trip in
Yeah,
the
I think
there you
future.
go.
so. Yeah,
All right. Well, you
yeah.
guys let me know when you do come. Please let me know, and I'll be there and give you a tour of the whole facility and everything. But no, the inside of our like the our main tap room, I'd say we can fit I don't know, 120 people in our main tap room.
Pretty big.
Um, we're a fully functioning restaurant and brewery, so we got a bar that seats probably about 20-25 folks, and then uh, yeah, so it's casual, um, just a very inviting, um, lively kind of vibe going on in the tap room. And then during the warmer months, like I said, we have the outdoor beer garden. We have a huge outdoor patio, but we have this big yard. We're right on the rail trail. So
Okay.
we get people coming up and down uh, from down, like you can get to downtown. It's like a 2 mile bike ride 3 mile bike ride from the brewery to downtown. But we just have a huge yard. I mean, you'll see kids out throwing a football around in our backyard, people playing cornhole, and Dave, our owner, he also owns the ice cream shop that's right next door. So um, you can send the kids over next door with a few bucks to get some ice cream, have them bring it back over.
Awesome.
So it's kind of like a nice little um, campus of fun at MBC.
Excellent. We love campuses of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, last question. What's your perfect Michigan day? Where would you go? What would you do? And what beer would you finish it with?
Oh man, perfect Michigan day. Okay, so I have a beautiful wife, Sarah, and my two wonderful children, Sam, who's 8, and Leo. Well, Sam's about to be 8, Leo's about to be 5. So they're going to be involved with this too. But the perfect day, I'm going to wake up bright and early before they wake up, and I'm going to go play 18 holes of golf at, let's go with Arcadia Bluffs. I'm going to go to Arcadia Bluffs with a couple buddies.
Nice.
And then get out of there and get my family, go spend the time on West Michigan Beach, and have dinner at a wonderful Michigan-based restaurant or brewery over on the west side. And then what beer am I going to finish it? Oh, we got to do some hiking too. Maybe get up to the dunes, do some hiking
Yeah.
on the sand
Singing
dunes.
bear.
And
Singing
then
bear. Yeah.
when it comes to Midland beer, my favorite beer we do is probably our Boom Run Oatmeal Stout.
Okay.
But I can't. That's too easy of an answer. I can't give you a Midland beer. So, um, man, I'm gonna go with anything, anything from Barrel and Beam. Um, and I want to bottle share it with you guys and maybe Jay Green or maybe some other friends. But
Awesome.
that would be the perfect day.
We could toast Doug.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
toast
there you
Doug.
go.
Yes.
There you go.
Excellent.
He would love it. Awesome. Well, Evan, thank you so much for being on Life in Michigan.
Well, it's been an honor, guys. Thank you guys so much for having me. Yeah, no, it was great. Thank you.
Yeah. And
Thank
we
you.
will definitely be hitting you up on that offer to come up there and hang out. So,
Yeah.
Sounds good. I look forward to it.
all right. Take care. Thank you so much for listening. Be sure to hit subscribe on your favorite podcast service to catch every episode of Life in Michigan. Help us spread the word by rating the show, sharing it with your friends, your neighbors, your family, your mail carrier. Share it with everybody, and leave a comment. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Stay connected by following us on our website and social media. This is a Life in Michigan production. Until next time, take care and have a fantabulous day in Michigan.